Hey everyone, welcome to today's class. In today's class, we're going to dive in deeper into HTML elements, right? In our last class, we talked about HTML, we talked about the boilerplate and all of that. So if you have not seen that video, please go back and watch that video. It's very important. And if you're also coming across our page or YouTube channel for the first time, you are welcome to Code with Chris. This channel and pages are dedicated in teaching web development from scratch for free. So whether you're a total beginner or looking towards sharpening your skills in web development, this channel is the right channel for you. So I urge you to subscribe to this channel and turn on your notification bell so that you'll be the first to be notified whenever a new video drops. And also don't forget to follow us across other platforms like Facebook and TikTok at the same handle, Code with Christ. So remember, don't hesitate. If you have any question, you can always drop it down at the comment section. All right, so today we're going to look into elements, HTML elements. In fact, everything about HTML involves elements, right? So first of all, what is an element? What is HTML element? An HTML element is the basic building block of a web page. It represents a piece of content like the paragraph, the image, the link, the form control, and the meaning. That is the semantics the browser and other tools should attach to that content. Element tells the browser what the content is and often how it should behave. So it is the help of element that tells our browser what a content is and how that particular content should behave, right? So now, and every element, just like these are boilerplates, these are boilerplates we have here. This is all elements, right? And how do you recognize an element? Okay, let me remove this. How do you recognize an element? Elements always have, right? Some can have opening and closing tag all together. Some can have just one tag, maybe an opening tag. So how do you recognize an element? We have this less than and then the element name, right? Let's say h1, and then greater than, right? Then the closing, for the elements that have closing tag, we have less than and then slash greater than, right? So this is how you recognize an element. So wherever you see something like this, you know that it is an element. So this is an element, this is an element, this is an element, this title is an element, here is an element. So that is how you recognize an element. An opening tag, elements are enclosed with tags, right? Some can have opening and closing tags, and we have different types of elements. We have different types of elements. First of all, what is the purpose of elements? Now, elements is for the structure, right? It defines the page layout, like the header, the nav, the main section and footer, right? It also defines the what semantics and meaning. It conveys content meaning to browser, search engines, screen readers, like the title, aside elements, strong element, and all of that. And it also what influences the behavior and interactivity. So it enables user interact, right? It enables user interaction, like the form, the buttons, and all of that. Is also what resource enabling and meta data. So links, resource, or it describe the content or the document. So, and also it's for accessibility, right? Semantic elements make content what accessible, right? So that is the purpose of elements. Elements are very, very important actually. So, and we have a lot of elements, thousands of elements. Now elements are divided into several categories. One, we have document root or metadata. Document root or metadata, in our last class, I explained everything we are seeing here in our boilerplate, right? So now this particular elements here are referred to as document root or metadata. right? Document root or meta-data, which involves the document type, the HTML element, the head element, the meta element, the title element. So this is known as what? Document root. Now we also have another element known as what? Document sectioning or semantics. Document sectioning or semantics, this is it. So this body here refers to as document element and semantics, and other elements which can be inside it, something like the header, the body, the nav, the main, the section, the articles, aside, footer, h1 like this, and h1 to h6 like this. So that is what is known as what? Document sectioning and semantics, right? So now we also have what? Another type of element known as what? Block level elements. Now block level elements are elements that actually start at the full width of the app of our browser. They occupy why this other one is inline elements. So inline elements, they don't occupy the full width of our browser, rather they occupy the width around its content, and also they don't start on a new line, right? As time goes on, we're going to see all those things and their differences. All right, so now elements are, we have thousands of elements, so we're going to take them one after the other and see what they do and all of that. We take them one after the other. So we are starting with um heading, right? We are starting with heading. We have different heading ranging from h1 to h6. So we have different headings ranging from h1 to h6, and each of them display their own uniqueness, right? So now, what is heading? Heading is usually used for title, right? We title of a document, subsections and all of that. So that is what heading is used for, right? So, and we have from heading 1 to heading 6. So we have from heading 1 to head 6. So as it's increasing in number, the size of the heading is reducing, right? So heading is usually used for heading of our documents and subsections and all of that, the title and all of that. So now let's take, for instance, I can say this is my first heading, right? So this is my first heading, right? So now let me run this on our browser. You just click go live and then it opens in your default browser. Okay, so you see I have, this is my first what? Heading, right? So now for h2, I can say this is my second heading, right? So in our browser it's going to refresh. That is in fact, that is the purpose of this go live. Go live helps you to automatically refresh our our browser, instead of we always coming back to refresh and all of that. So you can see this is h1 and this is h2. So you see that the font size of h1 is bigger than the font size of h2, and that is how it will decrease as we as the as the header increases. So we have h3. So I can say this is my third heading. This is my third heading. So if we move to our browser, right? Okay, let me refresh. Okay, so you can see this is my third heading. So as we keep on adding it will keep on reducing. So we have H1 to H6, H1 to H6. So and they all have different sizes. So it reduces as the size increases. So now this is our fourth heading. Is my fourth heading. All right. So we have H5. Now you can always type in your type waiting for suggestion. You can always type in like less than and then H5, greater than and then less than, which is the closing tag, and then greater than, and then okay, so greater than. So this is the opening tag. It could be called opening tag or start tag. This is what the end tag, or what the close tag. You can call it end tag or close tag, and this one is what the opening tag or start tag. So now I'll write this is heading. Okay, so I missed E here. All right, so now I have H6, which is the last header. This is my sixth heading. All right, so now if we open our browser, okay, we can see, let me refresh. Now you can see H1, H2, H3, H4, 5 and 6. You can see their sizes and text are what different, right? The font sizes are different. H1 is way bigger than H2, and H2 is way bigger than H3, and H3 is bigger than H4, H4 is bigger than H5, H5 is bigger than H6. So that is it for heading. This is called a heading element, right? We also have another element known as what? B element is usually used to add what? Paragraph. Paragraphing our document. We always know the purpose of paragraph. Paragraph always starts on a new line, and it occupies the full width also. Paragraph element, p tag, is a block level element, right? Is a block level element that occupies the full width of our browser, and by default a browser gives it a margin top, right, and what left and bottom, right? So now I can say this this is my first paragraph. This is my first paragraph. So now in our browser, okay, it's still loading. Okay, let me reload. So this is my paragraph. Now when you look at this is a block level element. Now you understand that there is this space from here to here. This is called margin. Margin and padding, right? Most of the times padding is not actually visible except you add a. So this is a margin. We have a margin top here, and after this, this is my first paragraph. We also have a margin between this and this. We also have a margin between. That is the characteristics of a block level element, full width of our browser, and it always starts on a new line. And by default, our browser always add a margin around it. Margin top, bottom, right, and what? Margin top, bottom, right, and what? Left. Do you get? So it adds a margin to it. So you can see this our paragraph. This is our first paragraph. So it has a margin top, then right, left, and what bottom. So that is it for um for paragraph. So paragraph, it could write your paragraph in different ways. You can write in different ways. You can write it. All right. So um there's what is called lorem. Lorem, we can actually generate a random text, right? We can generate a random text using lorem, right? So now lorem, so when you write lorem, it will generate a particular word for you, but not in English. It's not written in English. So you can now specify how many letter word you want it to actually generate for you, how many text you want it to generate for you. So if you want it to generate like 10 text, you do 10, it will generate a random 10 text. If you want it to generate 20 text, you of course attach space, right? It will generate a 20 text. So you can see it's very long. So I can actually collapse my work by using alternate and what alt z. It will collapse to fit the size of my file, right? So in our browser we can see the text, right? This is the lorem. This is the text we generated. So 30 text. We first of all generated a 10 text, and then we generated another one, 20. That is making it 30. Now you can see that for this paragraph there is a margin top, margin left, also margin right from here to here, margin right, and then of course margin bottom, right? So in our next class we're going to dive in deeper into um you know different types of elements, and then we see their differences. So I don't want our classes to always be too long, so that it will be easy for you to watch. So make sure you comment. If you have any question, you can drop it down in the comment section. And if you have not subscribed, please make sure you subscribe and turn on your notification bell, so that you'll be the first to be notified whenever a new video drops. Also like, comment, and share. Sharing is important, right? So thank you for watching. See you in the next class. Bye.